I don't have music on my roster just because it's popular or it's on, top 40. I don't do top 40. I'm looking for the obscure, the hidden gems, the things that people now might not be familiar with. This is what's playing out across media. So whether it's video games, podcasts, documentaries, whatever the case may be. So hello, I'm Pam Lewis-Rudden, and I own and run Plutonic Group Syncs. I am a sync agent. A sync agent is the conduit between a music supervisor, who actually is the buyer of the music, and the rights holder. So whether you are a publisher, a label, you own the master or the publishing rights, I connect the two together. There's a whole process, and I'd say 75% of it is legal because you are dealing with contractual rights. The music supervisors whom I work with, who are gathering music, putting together playlists to present to their bosses, which are the producers and the directors of the film or the advert, the TV series, they are experts in music just as much as I am, in the sense of knowing not just what genre it is, but the history of it, what instruments were used in creating it, what studio it was made in, the history of music. For songwriters in particular, the reason that sync is a major part of the music business as we know it today is because it's one of the last real avenues for actually getting paid. You don't get paid from Spotify. Nobody's buying records at, ICMP or, everybody expects to get music for free nowadays. So this is one of the last real avenues where you can get a substantial amount of money. I mean, you're not going to be able to go and, buy a house in Maidavale, but, you can put money towards your next project, going into the studio, releasing, but it's just a piece of the bigger pie. You have to understand, just like you have to understand how to play an instrument, you have to understand the business side as well. And this is the music business. It's not the music circus. It's not the music supermarket. It's a business. And there's legal ramifications involved because you're dealing with contracts. How does it work? What's all involved? There's someone who owns the masters, which is the actual recording, and then someone who owns the publishing, which is the song itself. They could be two separate people or two separate companies. And so I work with several people who own the masters, but they don't know who owns the publishing. They haven't talked to the publishers. So how do you know, as a rights owner of the masters, if the publishers will approve any usage, any request to use their part of the song in a media project? So I guess the most important thing for me to tell any songwriter is do not sell your rights. Wait until you're like 70 or 80, like, Fleetwood Mac and Bob Dylan and all the rest of those folks, so they're getting some money and they can leave it to their families and the like. But your power lies in you owning your rights. Prince and George Michael did not go through the hell they went through for us to be repeating the same things and making the same mistakes, 20, 30 years later. Hold on to your rights. They're like your babies, and as Dolly Parton said, she took care of her music. Those were her babies, and she took care of them so they could take care of her in her old age. So Dolly's doing just fine. The one mistake that I feel modern songwriters have when it comes to pitching music to me, for me to then pitch it to a music supervisor, is that, again, people feel like I wrote a song and it sounds like some stuff I heard on Borders. And what you're not understanding is this supervisor has sent me a brief, and they are so specific that there's no leeway, it has to fit the overall music sonic of I guess the whole project. And then this particular scene, this episode. So everything is tied in. There's nothing random about this. So watch some episodes of a TV show or a film, video game. What kind of music is being used, and does your music work within that particular media? Because what you use in trailers is not what they use in advertising, which is not what they use on podcasts, which is not what they use on rom-coms. And what you hear on rom-coms is not what you hear in crime thrillers, which is not what you hear in murder mysteries. So it's like music isn't just music. It's broken down into little bitty bits and pieces and put together to create something. So as a contemporary songwriter, lyrics that are universal. Everybody knows about love. I need happy love songs. Everybody writes love songs when they're sad and they're broken up, but we need happy love songs. When you're falling in love, when you have a crush, write a song. Everybody knows about leaving home and being far away from home, missing family. Love in a universal sense, like I love my friends, I love my family, I love, life. We have a lot of I'm in love songs. We don't have the general. And when you watch adverts, they're talking about the love of it's a beautiful life, it's a happy day. No one sells anything with sad music. So start paying attention to these things you want to be a part of and understand the dynamics that go into it. Like what you hear for a Nike advert is going to be completely different than you'll hear for McVitie's. Are they using more hip hop? Are they using more indie pop? Are they using electro pop? Are they using an experimental avant-garde? And where do you fit within this crazy puzzle? So if you know that you do really great bespoke score music, don't come to me. Go get a composer manager, because they have the connections and the relationships with music supervisors who hire composers to work on films. I work with already made music. I don't work with bespoke music. So even in my field, it's a niche. There's some people who only work country. There's some people who only work house and electro. So it's never just a one size fits all. So know where you fit, and then talk to other people, go online, go on LinkedIn, type in sync agent, music supervisor, ask your friends, ask them for referrals and suggestions. But universal lyrics and knowing where you fit.